Why, hello everyone. Welcome to Live with Ms. Steph. Today is June 23rd, 2025. Once again, today is June 23rd, 2025. For those of you watching this on the replay, thank you ever so much. And for those of you watching live now, thank you ever so much. Hi, I'm Ms. Steph. I'm the founder and executive director of Triple F Empowerment Inc. We operate the beloved program called Ms. Steph Science Club. And in particular, we are preparing ourselves for our Summer Science Club, which is basically our summer day camp right here in the heart of Harlem. We'll be doing lots of very fun things. And this is your weekly Science Club news. So let's hop right into it. Today, I am going to be doing a science activity with you. One of the activities that we will be doing the first week of camp. How do I know that? I plan. Remember, okay? Intention, plan, execute. Okay. So for those of you who are just now finding me here on the interwebs and all that type of stuff, I have a particular, thank you for watching Live with Ms. Steph. I have a particular set of 3 things that I like to do. I set my intention first when it comes to program and how we like things to be. And then I plan how to do those things, and then we execute. And part of the execution is just doing the thing as planned, and also reflecting and then thinking about how we want to do it the next time. So as far as your news, first of all, thank you so much for watching. I see you. As far as the Science Club news, our main thing is that we are getting ready for Summer Science Club. As I've shared with you, we a couple of weeks ago I shared with you all that we were just coming on, we were just below $10,000 as far as our fundraising goal, and we are now pushing $13,000. And so thank you for folks who contributed. We had several donors come in and give like some pretty significant amounts towards our efforts, and so I want to say thank you to that. Another thing that I want to share with you all, if you are here in New York City and you have not heard, we are under a heat advisory. Now, some folks don't really know what that means, as far as like, especially if you're not here. Thank you so much for watching here physically in the New York City community, and what that might necessarily mean to a camp director like myself. So we are an official camp, meaning we have a permit and we have gone through specific training. I have gone through various trainings in preparation for camp, and we have submitted documentation. And so we do have an actual permit. And what that means is that we are on the list of camps that get warnings. So we get a warning before the heat wave, or even, for example, as some of you may recall, a few summers ago, we had some pretty significant challenges because there were fires to the north of us. And so we were having some bad air quality days, all that type of stuff, warnings about the lantern bugs, all of those things. We get notification about that. And so however you may feel about the weather and why we are getting these extreme weather things, the thing that's important to note and to be aware of is that New York City and the surrounding area, we are under a heat advisory. So please make sure that you are doing the things that are appropriate for your body to make sure that you're safe. Other pieces of news, the end of this week on June 26th, we are officially finished as far as the New York City public school year is done. You know, I like to come in and make sure that everybody knows what's going on, not only in the Science Club bubble in itself, but just how we're interacting with the rest of the community, as well as major broad things. So the broad thing I wanted you all to know about is the heat safety situation that is going on, and that is predicted to last at least until tomorrow, Tuesday, June 24th. So be advised, just make sure that you're really trying to hydrate. And there are cooling centers. One thing about New York City is that there are actual cooling centers, and you can go into libraries and different places that you can go into if you are in need of cooling, if you don't have, because everybody doesn't have certain things in their home. Everybody doesn't have an AC. And so if you don't have an AC, you know that there are free cooling centers and all that type of stuff. Again, last day of school is Thursday, June 26th, as well as there was my thank you. That's one of the things I wanted to let you just know, thanking everybody who's been supporting us thus far and who is really helping us raise the funds that are necessary. Because for those of you who know, as we prepare for summer camp, I'm not just preparing and managing and trying to get everything together with like materials and ordering materials and setting up the lessons from the launch, which is July 7th, all the way through August 8th. I'm planning lessons for that time period. I'm ordering materials for that time period. You all know the shirts have already come in. I am also working with the staff, working with our space that we have. So there are a lot of moving parts on top of just running the organization as well. Triple F Empowerment Inc. is a full-blown nonprofit. And so there are things that we have to keep up. And so I had a meeting this morning about that. And then also planning for future, because you know how I am about planning for the future as far as getting us ready for the school year, as well as having different conversations for folks who want us to be at their community events. So much is happening. Even though it seems like you would think summer is laid back time, it is not. It is, I consider summer camp not only our anniversary, as many of you know, we started June 1st, 2012 is when I launched Triple F Empowerment Inc. When we started Science Club and then planned, I only had, at that point in time, I only had a month to get ready for what was just a couple of days a week, and we weren't even the whole day. But now it is a full-blown Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30 STEAM summer experience. That is what Summer Science Club is. And plus we also have our traveling science teacher program, Saturday program. All those things are working in concert together to serve the community. And for those of you who may not have seen our impact report, y'all, we have already served 613 children. Y'all, did you know that? Did you know that? Okay, I've already served 613 children. We've already had, let's check my numbers over here. We've done 10 community events in 6 months. We've already been at 10 different community events, which is a big deal for the size of organization that we are. To be able to do 10 community events, like that's a lot, okay? And especially since we were originally only planning to do one a month, we've done 10, okay? And then we've also interacted with and partnered with 12 different organizations here in Harlem. So yeah, we've had a good first 6 months of 2025. Super excited about all the things that we've got going on, and really want to say thank you so much to all of you who participate. Now let's hop into this activity very quickly. Yes, we are going to be doing this activity in a more controlled experiment way come the first week of Summer Science Club. But for those of you who won't be there with us and who are wondering what it's going to be like, let me do this activity with you. So first of all, shout out to Kiwi Co. They had something on a couple of days ago that gave me an idea. So I don't know the exact materials that they used, but because I'm aware of this particular reaction, you know, y'all know I'm a scientist. So I figured a couple things out. I actually made some adjustments to it because I can, because I felt like it. You know, y'all know I don't know how to do things just the exact way that other people do. So anyway, so this is a Kiwi inspired activity. This is not the same activity. I have made my own personal adjustments to it because I can. All right. So first thing that I'm going to put down, we are going to do 2 different cups. We're going to compare 2 different reactions. We will make one change. Okay, so one of the cups, again, controlled experiment, so we're only going to change one thing between the two cups. Both cups should get the same things in it. The first thing that I put down was clear dish soap. Anybody can throw in the comments why I use clear dish soap, especially for the folks who've been following me for a while. You can throw in the comments either your idea why, or if you actually remember my genuine reason for why I use clear dish soap. Then I'm going to put down some baking soda. Okay. And this is a fresh box. Baking soda inside of both of the cups. Right. I will go ahead and stir, 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 stir. Right now, this is just soap, baking soda. All right, another clean spoon, soap, and baking soda. Do. All right. Again, remember, we can only change one thing. So this next substance is not necessarily needed in cup A, but we're still going to put it in cup A because we want to make sure that we still have the same thing happening in both cups. All right, so I'm going to add some rubbing alcohol. I am going to cover up the brand because it's not necessarily, it doesn't, the brand is not what's important. It's the substance. Once again, thank you for watching Live with Ms. Steph. We're on. I already told y'all the various important news for this week. The fact that school, New York City Public Schools, will be finishing up this week on Thursday, June 26th. Okay. And again, thank you so much for all of you who have been supporting Triple F Empowerment Inc. over the years and who have been donating. I'm going to add a little bit more because I want to make sure we have even amounts. Okay. So inside of these two cups, I have baking soda and isopropyl alcohol, also known as rubbing alcohol. Okay. Next thing that we are going to do, it's just a few ingredients for this. Next thing that we're going to do inside of cup B, okay, inside of my second cup, the cup that's on my right hand side, I'm going to add a little bit of turmeric. There it is. You want to make sure you've got the real stuff, or as close to the real stuff as possible so that you get the proper reaction already. Then I want you to see this reaction happen. So turmeric is, as you know, orangish yellow, but in the presence of baking soda, it becomes red. Okay. All right. Do. So we've got a clear sample and we've got a red sample right now. It's red. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is add some vinegar. Now you can use any kind of vinegar that you want. All you're doing is you're wanting to do the acid-base reaction, okay? The reaction between baking soda and vinegar, okay? Baking soda is your base. Your acid is the vinegar. I'm going to make sure that I don't put too much in here because as you can see, I have my table is covered, but I do not have this isn't sitting on a tray or a plate. And so for that reason, I don't want it to be too much of an overflow reaction. All right, you see the bubbles, okay? Carbon dioxide is released because of the acid-base reaction that is happening between the baking soda and the vinegar. All right? Boom. So that's our control. That's our just our quote-unquote plain sample. That's one of the ways I like to describe the control to children. Okay? And here, this is our variation. We added the turmeric. Remember, that's the only thing that we did. Okay? And you get the reaction, and now it's going back to yellow. Isn't that so cool? So you're getting this color change reaction. So not only are you having the bubbles, the gas release that happens when you have a chemical reaction. Chemical reactions are indicated by the following. At least one of the following. In our situation, we got to see two of the following. So one is something that is changing states, not due to it going into the freezer or being heated, but simply by the chemicals mixing together. And one of the examples of changing states, meaning going from liquid to solid, for example, and a classic example of that, and one that we're doing all the time, it's our thing we pass out, slime, okay? We put glue, liquid glue, and some other substances together, and then we add the liquid activator, and we get a solid, or something that behaves similar to a solid, okay? So changing states. Another thing is changing color, and this one is a perfect example because the color we were getting was red, and then it changed. We added a clear substance and ended up getting, now we got something that turned into more of a yellow, right? Okay, so color change. So your state, changing a state of matter and changing color. And then our third one is producing bubbles, okay? Meaning producing a gas. A gas is released by the two coming together, which is very common in acid-base reactions. And in particular, our most common acid-base reaction that we do with young scientists is our vinegar and baking soda reaction. And that can be the basis of various other things. So this has been Live with Ms. Steph today. Once again, thank you so much for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, I appreciate you so much. We are, as I said, preparing for our annual Summer Science Club, our Science Immersion Day Camp. We will be launching that on July 7th and we'll run all the way to August 8th. We have several field trips that we'll be doing. And as you can see, I am in the planning modes. Thank you so much for those of you who supported. I cannot say that enough, who are supporting and helping us fill in the gap. Families pay no more than $425 a week, whereas the program itself, to provide the high level, awesome experience that we provide, actually costs us $700. And so the gap, you all come in and fill in that gap. And then we have certain organizations that have really helped us over the years, and in particular this year we've got folks that are really coming online, making sure that we are able to do what we need to do. And of course, like I said, I'm not only super appreciative, and also it's an intense time for me, but it is also a fun time for me. I love getting the opportunity to then do two activities, 2 STEAM education activities a day with each of the students. And as I've shared in the past, our summer camp provides children with the equivalent of a year and a half worth of science education exposure. So they will do 1 week, we'll do science, set that foundation and make sure that they have the definition of science. Then the next week we'll go into learning about technology and how using our science knowledge can help us develop pieces of technology, things that make our lives easier or more enjoyable. And then going into the third week, we'll do some engineering. We'll apply our science and math knowledge to solve problems, to build things together, to learn more and more about how to navigate this place, the world. And then on our fourth week, we will explore the science behind art, behind creating art. So we'll be making our own paint, and we'll be using symmetry and various pieces of equipment to be able to create things that are beautiful and that are coming from the human imagination. And then finally, in week 5, we will explore the science of numbers, okay? Mathematics. We will be learning about how numbers, when they relate, the relationship between numbers and how that impacts just our not only our daily lives, but how we can use that information and how we can be awesome mathematicians. And in that week, we'll actually be going to Liberty Science Center. Throughout all this, we will be keeping you posted. You will start to see more and more people in the videos, right? Just simply because I'll be doing my live videos in the middle of our Summer Science Club classroom. As you know, go ahead and feel free to prepare yourselves to go back to the videos from 2024 and 2023 and 2022 and see all the different things that we do. Once again, this has been Live with Ms. Steph. Thank you so much for watching, and have an absolutely wonderful day.